Political week in Kazakhstan began with a brutally honest conversation about artificial intelligence as Kassym-Jomart Tokayev chaired the second meeting of the Council for the Development of AI in Almaty. The head of state said Kazakhstan risks being left on the sidelines of global progress unless it rapidly builds a real digital economy powered by data, AI and platform solutions. President Tokayev called for the creation of a national network of data centers, the expansion of digital public services, the development of a crypto industry, and the launch of Central Asia's first AI university. More on this in our next segment. Almaty, one round table and some of the key voices shaping the reality and future of artificial intelligence. Kazakh and international experts gathered for an unusually candid discussion on where Kazakhstan really stands in its ambitious push to become a modern digital state powered by AI.
The concept of the digital economy is still in the process of defined, and existing methodology is fragmented. When the targeted 5% GDP growth is reported, we should distinguish between growth driven by the real sector and gains resulting from genuine innovation. So there should be a very clear distinction. General indicators often create an illusion of efficiency, making all difficult to assess the real contribution of digitalization and artificial intelligence to economic growth. The government, in coordination with the Agency for Strategic Planning and Reforms, should submit comprehensive proposals on evaluating the digital economy's impact on GDP.
Kassym-Jomart Tokayev warned that artificial intelligence is rapidly deepening the gap between developed and developing economies, concentrating technologies and capital in the hands of global leaders. He said this should serve as a wake-up call for Kazakhstan, which must accelerate the development of its own practical AI solutions before the technological divide becomes impossible to close.
To break free from any chance of economic stagnation, we must pivot toward a digital economy by building large-scale digital platforms. Without unified government data, AI will remain ineffective. In this regard, we must transform government services into an invisible yet ultra-efficient operating system that eliminates excessive bureaucratic requirements. In this traditional system, the process from request to decision takes days and even weeks. Ideally, this cycle should be reduced to a few seconds, driving a massive increase in capital turnover nationwide.
According to the World Bank, the digital economy already generates more than 15% of global GDP, a sign that competition is no longer centered around goods alone, but increasingly around data, platforms and technological standards. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev said Kazakhstan cannot afford to stay on the sidelines of this shift, pointing to countries like the United Arab Emirates, which is moving towards a fully cashless economy, and China, where digital platforms already process transactions worth trillions of dollars. Yet, according to the president, this transformation has so far reached Kazakhstan only partially.
Kazakhstan recently took a major step in this direction by successfully launching the Keden Unified Customs Clearance platform last month. Now the declaration issuance takes less than a minute, with most documents processed automatically. In parallel, the Smart Cargo National Logistics Platform is being established, integrating 127 data sources. This will enable expedited border crossing for compliant companies. Radical changes have also occurred in the fiscal sphere. The integrated tax administration system has reduced processing time from an hour to 1 minute, streamlining services for 2 million taxpayers.
Kassym-Jomart Tokayev said Kazakhstan is now aiming to position itself as a regional crypto and digital finance hub. The president highlighted the rapid growth of cashless payments, which already account for more than 80% of transactions nationwide, and pointed to the expanding use of the digital tenge to improve transparency and reduce transaction costs. He also called for faster development of the country's digital assets market, including the tokenization of real estate, gold, and industrial shares. New AI talent is expected to enter Kazakhstan's job market following the launch of Central Asia's first artificial intelligence university, set to open this September.
Together with the financial regulators in Central Asian region, Kazakhstan has conducted the first AI study for the region. It gives us a clear picture of the whole market. In Kazakhstan, 68% of banks already use AI, compared to below 50% across Central Asia. The average return on AI investments is already positive, and 77% of banks plan to expand its use. At the same time, only 2% have reached full industrial deployment. This means Kazakhstan leads the region in adoption, but scaling remains the challenge. The barriers are clear: talent, data quality, confidentiality, and regulatory bottlenecks.
International experts also shared their views on Kazakhstan's broader AI transformation strategy, presenting their vision for what can be done to accelerate and enhance the country's action plan.
Imagine a system that alerts a ministry to emerging events and execution risks before they escalate. A system that remembers every commitment, reminding officials of the promises that they have made. A system that listens attentively to key ministerial briefings, distills their substance, and shepherds the resulting action items to completion. As a member of the AI Council, I have proposed to the President and the AI Ministry that Kazakhstan start to plan this decisive step.
R&D spend remains below 1% of GDP. AI without R&D for areas of industrial strength is pretty scaffolding for a weak building. To that end, scientists need the freedom to be founders and return as researchers. It should follow neither the US nor China models as templates. But from industry R&D strengths, Kazakhstan can become a global intelligence switchboard, a global networker, as we called it in our study on global AI strategies, unifying Central Asia for additional scale.
The AI discussions continued later that day with meetings involving Kai-Fu Lee and Thomas Pramadetham. The latter's company expressed interest in Kazakhstan's Data Center Valley project aimed at creating a specialized ecosystem for artificial intelligence infrastructure, computing power, and digital services. During a meeting with Trixie Low-Merman, the sides discussed the prospects of turning JetX AI Central Asia and Caucasus into a permanent annual platform for Central Asia, as well as the possibility of hosting additional regional events in Kazakhstan. Afterwards, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev toured the JetX exhibition, where he was presented with the country's latest digital and technological developments. Yergali Ramazanula, New Time.